Hey guys, this is my first video ever on YouTube, so my apologies if I forget what I'm talking about or if I just sound totally like deranged. I may have rolled out of bed like 20 minutes ago, I don't know. So this is a study I did of SamDoesArts, his art style. My friend wanted to see herself drawn as this little portrait, so I said, yeah, I can do that, even if I like totally do not draw in this style ever. And one thing that I wanted to ask everyone is if their proportions when they first are sketching are totally whack compared to the end result. Because like, look how massive I just drew this eye. Like, it is massive. Like, she looks kind of like a cyclops is how big it is. And look how high I just drew that eyebrow compared to the other one. And it's like, if you see the end result of this art, the eyes are so much smaller, and I don't realize it until I'm drawing, like how whack my proportions are when I first start sketching. And if you watch like speed paints from artists, they typically have proportions like fairly correct when they start drawing. But when I draw, like, oh, like look at this jaw and look at those eyes, they're so massive. I end up correcting them, but it's like I can't get the proportions down correctly when I start. And that is crazy to me. Sometimes I can. Sometimes I have like a really good day. But most of my days are starting with really whack proportions, cringing, wondering why I do this, getting so mad that the proportions are bad that I sit there until they're correct, which is all part of learning, I suppose. But it's like, am I the only one? Because like, even just look at the face right now. It looks drastically different than how I started, and it's like, why did I draw the eyes so big at the beginning? It's like, am I the only one whose proportions changed drastically over a piece? Like, not just minor liquify adjustments, but like, you draw something so unproportionate that you have to like redraw it. If anyone like does that as well, please let me know. And if you know how I can fix that, please let me know as well. But yeah, this is pretty much my first video. It's just a speed paint and me, rambling while it goes. So I just thought I would introduce myself. My name is Zoe, and gosh, this feels like school all over again. I'm cringing. I'm currently 22, and I love drawing. And just as equally as I love drawing, I also love writing and reading. And I actually just quit my internship as a graphic designer because I really, really want to focus on illustration. And graphic design and illustration, they hold very similar fundamentals, like shape language, balance, color theory, all that stuff. But illustrating is so much different than graphic design. And when I was in high school, I didn't want to go to an art college to be an illustrator because those are like super expensive. So I ended up going to a community college for graphic design or visual communications, and it was fun. It really was. I learned a lot. I graduated with a 4.0 because I am a tryhard. But it took me 4 years, I guess, from graduating high school to getting my 2-year degree in graphic design to being in this internship for about 1.5 years now, to realize that that is not really what I want to do at all. I do not want to sit at a desk and, move elements and shapes and typography on a page. What I really want to do is draw. I want to draw characters. I want to bring my imagination to life. Webcomics is something I really want to dabble in. But my problem is that I'm really impatient. And my favorite part of the art process is seeing the final piece. So it can be very daunting to start drawing and running into all these proportion issues and not getting the colors right. I find myself quitting a lot of times. I have a lot of work in progresses that will never be finished because I start with maybe concepts that are too hard for me at the moment, proportions and perspectives that I can't do. And so basically took me about 4 years to realize that if I need money, I will, pursue my field of graphic design. But honestly, I just want to draw, and that's a privilege, really, is to, I'm at a point in my life where thankfully I do not have to pay bills right away. I don't have to make rent. So I have a little bit of leisure time in my life, living with parents and whatnot, to really sit down, practice my art, and try to make a business out of it. And that's what I'm going to try to do. I quit my internship and I'm going to try this for half a year to a year. If I start seeing success, that'd be amazing. But anyway, that's my story, honestly. In high school, I skipped a lot, but in high school I took all 5 art classes that I could. And art class was like, I know it's different for everyone. Some people have like horror stories of like terrible art teachers, but all of my art teachers were like mothers almost. And actually, during like my hard times in high school, my advisor was actually my art teacher. So she, like, during the winter, my family didn't have money for like proper winter clothing. One day I came into class and she'd given me like a brand new jacket. And so that's kind of what art reminds me of, is like comfort. I get comfort when I think of art, when I do art, thinking of how my art might affect someone else. I want to give people the comfort of fading away from life for a small portion of time and into the art. Whether that be a web comic, just a beautiful illustration, something that makes them smile, something that makes them think, even potentially something that makes them sad. As long as it's not like sadness coming from something real in their life, and they can like step out of their life for a minute and into the art. It's something I've always been very, very passionate about. So that's who I am. A very quick summary. I have like no notes. I hate saying like words with the same letters at the beginning. It like brings out like a stutter in me. I have no notes at all. I'm just like rambling off the top of my head. So I'm sorry if it's all over the place. And I kind of struggled with starting this account because I'm very determined, and I know if I really do try, that I can gain friends and I can like merge into the community. But it's hard because it's almost like we're kind of taught like that you have to have something important to say and you have to be knowledgeable on it in order for people to really care what you're saying. At least that's like my misconception of social media. I see all this amazing art and these amazing art tutorials, and it's like I can do maybe like 1/4 of what they're doing, and if they can do it better than me, why would anyone care to listen to me then? And so I'm taking a step. I'm making this video. I still in my mind, I'm like, who's gonna watch this? Who wants to listen to my story? Like, I'm a nobody. You want to listen to stories of like people you already know, like bigger YouTubers and everything. But I don't know, here I am. Thank you if you did get this far into the video. So I guess I can kind of get off the topic of myself and kind of talk about the art that you are seeing being drawn. So my best friend wanted to see herself drawn in SamDoesArts style, and she sent me that specific reference. So I'm like completely recreating it, kind of, copying eye to eye. And I say that, but it's really not eye to eye because I'm still learning and my proportions are different than his and the colors are different than his. But that's all a part of learning. But one of my favorite things to draw is like smudgy eyelashes. A lot of times people say, you want the eyes to be really sharp, really clean, because that's what people notice when they look at a portrait. But I love smudging like eyelashes because it almost deceives the eye into thinking that there are a ton of tiny little lashes, blurring together. And I think you can get like a really sharp look with smudging the lashes. Like if you have some of the eyelids and the eyelashes sharp and then you smudge certain parts of it, it is so aesthetic. I love it. But yeah, I'm currently on my art journey right now. I don't really have a style of my own. I actually really love realistic styles, like semi-realistic, I would say, like comic styles. I love the realism mixed with more creative proportions, like anime. I like more matured anime. I love drawing chibis, but like as my art style, I want it to be more matured, semi-realism. So the fact that I'm drawing in SamDoesArts style right now is a bit off. It's not really what I do or what I like to do. But actually, as I drew this, I was having a lot of fun just because it's like simplified, You don't have to worry about all the concaves and mountains and planes of the face. Because it's more simplified, The face is very round. So you shade it like a round ball, kind of. The nose is round. The eyes are round. Like they're all, like I just kind of picture them all being like spheres. And you shade them like accordingly. And it was a nice breather, honestly, from trying to learn such realistic art. And I honestly had a lot of fun with it. And who knows, the fact that I'm like taking time to learn this style might affect my style, and my style might be realistic, but it might have these more simplified, rounded features to it in the future. You literally never know. And that's why I think a lot of people, they kind of preach about how you should study multiple styles, because you honestly never know what you will like to do unless you do it. And like as I said earlier, I'm super impatient. So sitting down and drawing in a style that I don't necessarily think I will like to draw is hard for me to do. But because my best friend wanted something, I'm gonna do it for her. I love her. So if that's what it takes, maybe ask your friends, like a piece of art they will like or want, and challenge yourself to draw in that style if that's what it takes to motivate you. Because I actually did have a lot of fun drawing this. But yeah, that's basically it for my first video. Just a time lapse with me rambling on about things most people probably do not care about. But if you made it this far, thank you. I don't want to be like the cliche YouTuber and say like, follow, subscribe. But you can't even follow on YouTube. I'm so dumb. I just kind of wanted to talk unfiltered, including all my weird ums and ehs, and gosh, I'm such a bad talker. But anyway, if you did like this style of video, consider liking it and leaving a comment. Otherwise, I have no idea if I should keep making these types of videos. I guess I'll try a couple more, see what happens. It takes dedication and consistency, to grow. So I'm gonna try. But if you did like watching and listening, thank you very much. I'll reply to all your comments if I get any at all. And yeah, have a good day, everybody. Bye.